the golden voice of Neil Rule, Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., as they give their takes on all things Detroit sports. The number one midday show in Detroit is on. Welcome to Big D Energy.
Drop that Hemi, Spenny. The pontoon is back. Welcome, everybody. Happy Thursday. Big D Energy.
Big D.
Hey,
I am your host today, Darren McCarty, four-time Stanley Cup champion, filling in for the vulnerable, the all-elusive president,
Yes.
Neil Rule, who is off doing presidential things, but in his stead, who else than Uncle Terry Foster. T-Foss, good to see you, bud.
You too, buddy boy. Happy to be here.
Remember the last time we were able to, we've had conversations in passing, but not in front of the people. So
Let's
should
do
be
it.
good. You been good?
Yeah, I'm been good. I already got a question for you.
I like it. I like it. First, KG, how it do?
Hey, man, doing good, man. Glad to see you back, man. I thought you was going to be gone today. I thought you was off doing D-Max stuff.
Listen, you made me feel really good when I walked in today because you didn't think I was going to be here. And I don't know, you were fretting what? You were going to have to sit on the desk or whatever?
He didn't want to do two shows in a row with me. That was it.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yep.
No, it's not you, T-Foss. I love you, T-Foss. Come on now.
I gotta stay in the middle. And as always, intern Jesus. How you doing, Justin?
Doing good. Pleasure to see you today, D-Mac. You looking good as usual. Red's popping. I love it.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to all the social media stuff, all the clips, everything behind the scenes. Great job at Calvin's, you and Noah at Calvin Johnson's golf tournament. Behind the scenes, it helps out a lot. And I was telling a lot of people also too, is that like you're a low-key golf swing coach for me too, because you can get the tracker on it and how many times do I go back and go, let me see that swing. So you help me, and I've been hitting it really good, so I thank you for that.
Hey, I appreciate that. And hey, I can't lie, even though I'm just out there recording, you make it fun out there to be out there. So I ain't even working when I'm out there. So shout out to you.
Wouldn't be without the one and only Spencer.
Can you lather his ass up a little bit more?
Yeah, for real.
Right.
How you doing, Spenny?
Hello. I'm doing pretty
I'll
good.
lather all your asses.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute.
Make sure you stick around later today, 5 to 7 heavyweights.
Shout
with
out.
that sleazy easy.
Oh, yeah.
Got
Sleazy
Spenny.
easy.
So what's going on? Terry had a question. I think that I'm ready.
Yeah. We have the Open on, which is showing here, or the British Open, as
yeah.
us
I've been
old timers
watching
like to
since
call it.
5:30.
I don't know why, but I still like to take a glance at Tiger Woods, and he hasn't done anything for
Years.
like forever.
I wouldn't say forever.
It's been a long time,
there's
brother.
reason why. I mean, he's in the twilight of his golf career and whatever. And, I was watching from home. I'm not going to lie. Birdie 3. Now he's sort of coming back to earth, hitting the bad bunker. But you were going to mention, I didn't think that's where you're going to go with that question. You were saying about, does Tiger Woods still have that? If he's on, are you gonna turn it on?
Do you still watch him?
Yes, 100,000,000%. I would even go further that for me, and just being a golf slappy, the British Open is my favorite major.
Yeah.
I love the Masters too, but I love the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's early in the morning, and it just feels, and it's over there, and it's just the home of golf, and it's what maybe too, Kenny. It's Terry, guys. It's watching professionals struggle a little bit.
You've already had your first faux pas of the day.
I did. What I do?
Not supposed to call it the British Open anymore. It's the Open.
Open
Okay.
Championship.
Well, there you go.
But over
See?
here, we still call it the British Open.
Right.
Man. Screw those people.
Learning lessons. So the Open Championship, and I think it's 152nd. But they're the elements, and if you're watching, the wind's blowing 20, 30 miles an hour. So makes sometimes when you see a lot of these golf tournaments and there's minus 20 after 4 rounds or something like this. Leader rate now is -3, and that's probably what it's going to be today. So I enjoy it. I will watch. Do you guys watch? Are you more for, like Terry said, the Tiger Woods, no matter what he's playing in effect, or is it you like the major?
I like the game of golf, but it's hard for me to watch. But I do like to occasionally peek in on Tiger Woods, although he hasn't really done anything since 2019. But he's a legend, man. Like, you got to let him go out on his own shield in those terms. You know, like I know the guy was talking shit about him recently, so you want to see him do well in these type of tournaments. But he's Tiger, man. He's always gonna get the benefit of the doubt with me. So
yeah, but he's already answering the questions now. Dude, why are you even in this tournament?
Yeah.
And he says, well, I think I've got an opportunity to win. No, he doesn't. He's got no shot at winning.
That's fine.
This tournament.
Who's gonna stop him?
He knows he can't win this tournament.
I wouldn't say that.
Wrong.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
I think it's where you're wrong when it comes to guys like that. You know, it's that Mamba mentality to whatever else that he wouldn't.
Yeah, Mama dead though. Mamba
I
dead.
understand, but would you not agree, Terry?
That's
Well,
crazy.
was I wrong in saying? Would you say Kobe Bryant and Tiger Woods and Michael Jordan and the elite of their craft have this mentality of they firmly believe that they're going to get up and win. I know for a fact, just listening to the broadcast, that you know he's slimmed down his upper body, like he's get his legs ready, so he's competing. That's not even whatever he does after the first round, whatever, make the cut. Do we expect him to win? No, I don't even know what the odds are in that. But he
200 to 1.
He will draw viewerships. But do you know, caveat to anybody who didn't know, coming to Oakland Hills, I think next week, is the U.S. Amateur on the North Course. Charlie Woods' son's playing, and so Tiger's going from Europe back over here. So if you want to go down the road to Oakland Hills, which is literally 5 miles from here, for the U.S. Amateur, Tiger will be walking around. That's going to be a shit show.
I heard his
Now,
son's
are we
pretty
going
good,
down
too.
there to see Tiger or Charlie?
I mean, Charlie's pretty good.
Charlie's pretty damn good. It's impressive.
I think both. You want to see, you know, and if you're a golf fan, and you watch the way that these guys younger and younger come on out, they're ready to play, whether it's through college, whether it's through the mini tours or whatever. Like, there's so much talent out there. So you're going to see the next, you know, one of these kids that plays in this could win a major in the next 3-5 years.
Never know.
But it's exciting.
Just
But
curious.
I'll watch. This is my favorite major for sure.
The Open.
Well, I don't know why they got moon craters on these golf courses, though. That's the only thing I'm wondering about.
They got to make it challenging, T-Fall.
I know. Damn, I like the U.S. courses.
I always wonder, and this is just me, but going back to World War II with all the bombings over Europe and stuff like this, were some of those created?
It could possibly.
You know what I mean? Like,
it makes
naturally,
sense.
but also that just I always wondered that.
Yeah, it would make sense.
I think they just feel they have to make things different over there than over here. And that's where golf was created. And we probably took our courses and had Jack Nicklaus and Ross and all these, just create our own vibe.
Well, what happens is all those designers came over here, and then all of our young golf, like you said, Jack Nicklaus or whatever, learned from them. You know, you look at the Donald Rosses and the Robert Trent Jones and the Alistair McKenzies and all these Pete, you know, then the Pete Dyes, you know, evolved from there and stuff. We're lucky to be in Michigan. If you're in Michigan, because you have so many
beautiful
great,
courses.
You know,
Beautiful
great golf
courses.
Here's a little segue, and I wanted to ask all you guys, because you guys are the basketball guys, and since we're talking about, you know, star athletes and their kids, anybody watching, is the Bronny hype done, or is the summer league? Because I see that Spenny has on the sheet.
Bro,
that's a good game. He had a good game in summer league.
All right, that's not Bronny hype. That's Bronny making fun of.
That's
Okay.
Because you know, we had Jaylen Brown, and he was out with
Angel
my girl,
Reese and his wife,
and,
I
saying,
believe.
this is not an NBA player. So I mean, he got cooked by Antoine Davis the other day, and I understand why the Lakers drafted him. You want to make LeBron happy. He's always said he wants to play with his son. So I'm not hating the player. Let him play with his dad for a year or two and then move on.
Yeah.
And in fact, you know, if I were the Pistons, I might have drafted his ass.
He
because
wasn't gonna
then
come
maybe
here.
you get LeBron.
He wasn't gonna come here, man. Rich Paul was literally on the phone telling teams, hey, he's going to Australia if you draft this kid. Like, do not do it. So I doubt LeBron would have came, but you just feel bad for the kid, man, because if his name wasn't James, all of his mistakes wouldn't be so amplified, but
he wouldn't have got drafted if his name wasn't James.
And that's a fact too.
Yeah, he would not have been drafted.
That's
and he
facts.
would have been cut.
That's facts
by now.
Yeah, he wouldn't have even.
He would have been on the G League
USC
roster somewhere.
Right. He got little contracts. I don't feel sorry for him.
No, he's in the spotlight. This is what he wanted to do with his life and his career. So it is upon him to make things better. But yeah, he's just not ready, man. Like, he's going to go through it if he's actually on the NBA roster for 82 games.
Once again, you're a cute guy. He's never going to be ready.
Yeah.
I think you think, if he just needs a little couple years of season and he'll be ready to go.
No, it's not that. But I think he can be a serviceable NBA player? Yeah. I mean, he has the ability to shoot. That's really all you need in today's NBA. If you can shoot a little bit, they can work on you and you can at least be a spot-up guy or somebody that can contribute to a team. So I'm not saying he's going to be like a star or like his dad, but can he be serviceable? Maybe in a few years, yeah. But
no, I disagree. First of all, he cannot play defense, and I know that's an effort thing.
He's
but
undersized as well.
Yeah, he's a little shrimp out there, and he's not quick. I mean, I know Spud Webb was tiny, but he was quick.
He's not Spud Webb though. That's a bad guy.
He is 6'2".
False.
What does LeBron James do well? What's his exceptional skill?
Well,
to be in the NBA, you have to have an exceptional skill. Huh?
He's an exceptional athlete. That's about it.
Yeah.
He's an exceptional hack.
Athlete.
Oh, athlete. Okay.
But the whole thing is he's gonna get every opportunity.
Yeah, of course.
To succeed, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think he should get that opportunity because of his dad. But are we jerks for making fun of the kid because he can't play?
No.
Or we just pointing out the
I
facts?
don't think so. It's just it's part of the game, man. That's what's gonna come with it. You got in off nepotism, in which that happens in a lot of different cases and scenarios, so that's not really the problem. But when you're in the spotlight, this is what comes with that. So he's going to garner criticism. Unfortunately, like I said, if his last name wasn't James, his mistakes wouldn't be amplified like they are. But it's just part of the game, man. He got to get through it if he wants to be a real pro.
No, if his last name wasn't James, we would not be scrutinizing his mistakes.
Because he wouldn't.
Because we wouldn't see him. Because he wouldn't be out there.
I get it. He's not a pro though.
No, but
he had a good game yesterday.
But do people still tune in?
No, I'm not. I'm not watching that.
Nah.
Do you tune in? Like, that's the whole
thing.
I
haven't watched one Brownie game.
Do you tune into that? Is that like...
Hell no.
No?
I ain't wasting my time with that bullshit.
I watched it because it was on ESPN yesterday while I was doing the prep, and he had a decent game.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's not worth watching. What's in it for me?
What do you take out of Summer League, though?
Not much.
Yeah.
It depends. I remember they keep saying you shouldn't evaluate somebody's talent in Summer League. Then why the hell do they play then?
That's true. That's true, but I mean, there's only so much that you can take out of Summer League because of the level of competition. You're going against other rookies, other guys trying to make the league, and people that'll never see time on an NBA floor. So, I mean, take it for what it is.
I will tell you one thing, Bro Hammer. If I had a choice between watching the Major League Baseball All-Star game and the Pistons Summer League game, I'd watch the Pistons Summer League game.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, that's crazy.
Because I feel like I'm getting something. At least
that's a little wild.
I know. I'm so down on All-Star games. I just don't really care.
I agree.
They're boring.
Yeah.
Or they're not real games.
That's true.
I get that. They took all the juice out of the MLB All-Star game by not letting it decide home field advantage. Like now.
That was
that's
it.
when it meant something, Jesus.
It did.
You're absolutely right. And you go back and look at those games. Those were competitive games. Mm-hmm. Those were real games because it mattered. And if you look at, did it matter when it came down to it? Yes, a couple times.
I hope you're kidding.
What?
I hope you're kidding.
Back when it determined home field?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought it was more competitive.
Absolutely,
I thought it was more managed.
No, guys, please, it was not. It was still horrible.
What? How, Terry?
No.
Terry, I
even
thought
before
there were 3-2
then,
games.
baseball,
there was,
the All-Star baseball All-Star game was the only one that looked like a real game. There was competitive back then, back in the day. But I don't think guys went out there and said, "Okay, let's win one for the Gipper because we're gonna, we might get home field advantage."
I think that the manager that was there, if you go back, and I don't have it in front of me, but if whether it was a Yankee, whatever like this, you know that you're playing for home field. You manage a little bit differently.
Yeah.
So maybe the players are aloof to whatever else, but the way that the game was managed and the competitiveness of the game and the pitching changes, the rules hadn't been changed where a guy has to face 3 batters and stuff. It was competitive.
It's a participation contest now.
To your point, it was nothing like, didn't the All-Star game used to be the All-Star game versus the championship team?
Yeah.
Or something like back in like the 50s
that was
and 60s?
that was before I was born too. But it was out.
Well, I'll have to ask Maz
what
when
I
it
knew,
comes in.
ask Maz. He'll know. No,
Anyway, well, it's a
I
good
always
segue
knew
because I
American
wanna
League
talk some
against the
baseball,
National League.
because we got into it yesterday about the Tigers and, you know, where are we at as we're going into the second half? Do you have more hope? You know, what do you want to see and stuff like that? And also, too, you know, is it more because look at what Tarek Skubal did in the All-Star game? I mean, that only makes his value go up. Is there, you know, trade offers out there?
It appears to be.
The Dodgers come calling, the Orioles come calling, and what's the package you'd have? So stick around. We'll get to that. But first, let me tell you about Guardian Alarm. Let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real experts. Professional technicians take the time to recommend security and automated solutions specific to your needs. But I need you to call the number. That's all Guardian wants you to do. 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring, calling time, day or night. Know the Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as it is needed. But I need you to call the number. 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology has been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care. Business, pleasure. Guardian doesn't care. Just give them a call today. 1-800.
Stay out.
Stay out. Stay out of getting cold after the All-Star break, Tigers. Please keep the hot streak going.
Stay out of hating on Tiger Woods, Terry. Come on, he the GOAT, man.
Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. How big the energy we sent ya.
Come to any Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men and claim your throne for a king's treatment from one of our talented stylists. Open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. Just get to a Lady Jane's today and receive a precision haircut, scalp massage, hot lather neck shave, and a hot towel treatment. A haircut should not be a chore. It should be an experience. And that's exactly what Lady Jane's has to offer. Open 7 days a week. Walk-ins are always welcome. There's always a location near you. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Soroki's Crispy Chicken and Pizza is taking over Michigan. Locations are popping up all over Metro Detroit. They just opened a new one in Madison Heights. Known for their crispy chicken, delicious New York-style pizza, and the best biscuits in the biscuit game.
Damn right.
Go to Sorokis.com to figure out where you can find a location near you. Soroki's. Now that's crispy.
Welcome back, Big D Energy. D-Mac, Darren McCarty, Terry Foster, in for Neil Rule, KG, Jesus, and Spanmo Rax here on a thirsty Thursday. Talking a little bit of baseball, Terry poo-pooing the All-Star game, which we all do now.
Yeah.
This All-Star game.
It's not the same.
Jesus brought up a good point. I agree with you. Is that when home field advantage for the,
you know,
the World Series didn't matter, and the game didn't matter as much. Yeah, Terry, to your point, you want to,
when you said that, I thought you were going to say,
really
ha, Terry, I got you on that one. That didn't make a damn bit of difference in the
Terry,
All-Star.
I got you on that one. I said I understand when it was more competitive.
It wasn't more competitive.
When the World Series, home field advantage, I'm sorry. For the managers it was, maybe for fucking the guys from Detroit or Pittsburgh or whatever that didn't have a shot in it, it was the same old thing. So we can agree to disagree.
I thought you were joking with us.
Smitty, put up the chat poll. Was the All-Star game more competitive when home field advantage? Because that was what Jesus said. That was the question.
To go off you as well, the manager point, like the manager's always the best team in baseball, or the last year's World Series champion and representative from the other league. So in that factor, those are the best teams in baseball. So to them, the manager, it is going to matter because they're trying to win because they value home field advantage in the World Series.
Yeah, well, I mean, and if you're comparing then versus now, I mean, now's the biggest joke there is.
The All-Star games were competitive in the 70s, 80s, 90s, well before this home field advantage thing started. It was the only All-Star game I watched because I think the NBA All-Star game is a joke.
Yes.
The NHL is a 3-on-3 now.
Yep.
It's exhibition.
Yeah. Well, I believe, like, to me, 3-on-3 in the NHL All-Star game is way more entertaining.
Yep.
It is.
Than it is. Like, I mean, at least they're and they're sort of playing for something, but they are a joke. What, Terry, would you say that baseball back in the day, like 70s, 80s was the most when Pete Rose is busting up guys, that catcher running guys over. Yeah.
It's the only one that resembles the game we see every day.
Was the NBA All-Star game?
No, it's a joke. And I've been to those things live. All they do is dribble the ball, smile at each other, laugh, allow dunks and everything.
Defense,
it's even back in like the 80s.
Even the 80s. I keep hearing, in the 80s, they didn't. That was bullshit back then, too. Isaiah and Magic are smiling, patting each other on the ass as they're playing a game.
Yeah.
It was a joke back then, too. No defense. I mean, I'm not saying let's lock them down, but
it's got to be a level of defense, little bit. Though. Yeah, just a level.
Give me a little bit.
Is there any All-Star game or weekend nowadays that you look forward to?
No, because the NFL, the Pro Bowl, that was always a joke. It's not even a game now. Hockey maybe is the best out of all of them, and like you said, it's still not the same, man. Basketball's bad, baseball not what it used to be. No All-Star game really hits like that anymore.
Maybe
I don't watch
All-Star
them.
Race. That'd be number one.
Right.
They're still banging it up.
Yeah,
They're
they
still
are.
crashing it up.
Then the thing is, sports fans would just watch any damn thing. The Pro Bowl was still getting good ratings.
It was, but the game was horrible most of the time.
It was jank.
Yeah.
Pro Bowl's always been terrible.
Yeah. Nobody really wanted to play in it. The people that are in the Super Bowl couldn't play in it. Like, it was just always bad, man. But it's not even a game now. It's like
They should just put flags on them.
Yeah, like I don't even know what the hell the Pro Bowl is now.
And there's a lot to Let's Go Red Wings party. So many more teams and player rivalries during that time. Nowadays, everybody trains and hangs out together in the offseason. Like so many All-Star games. Like that's when I grew up.
Yeah.
Like you had your towns and you battled against, or your high school or whatever like that. And you weren't friends with it was competition, even in junior. Even when you played against junior into the pros, you're fighting the same guys and stuff like this. There's a respect, but not until you get older. Nowadays, kids all play all-star games and train and travel around, so there is a familiarity.
Yeah, you're my boy now.
Right.
We can't get too mad at each other. Now, I'm pulling a town out of my ass. Who was your rivalry? Banff?
No, Banff is out. That's a little bit too far. Leamington, that rivalry was Essex.
Okay, all right.
Right? Which made sense with a small tidbit note. The colors that I grew up wearing were red and white, and the colors that Essex were wearing were orange and black.
Oh, I was about to say
right?
Crib Blood.
So I always say that into the move I made on Hextall to score the clinching goal.
Oh, yeah.
How many times had I seen orange and black just flash back from being a little kid skating against the rivalries? So I don't know if it plays into it or not.
So that was your motivation on that goal.
What?
That was your motivation on that goal.
That's what it was.
All right.
As we sit back here 27 years later, I can break it down, but didn't know.
Right.
But back to the Tigers, right? We're talking baseball, so talk Tigers. Did you guys talk about Scooble's performance?
Well, nah, we talked more about the trade deadline and whether he would be dealt or not, or
But
whether it was a good idea.
Like every time we sit up here at Big D Energy and just say, this is the most valuable Tarek Skubal will ever be to the Detroit Tigers every time he steps out on the mound.
Mm-hmm.
Now he just did it 1, 2, 3 on a national stage. Terry, does it work that way for this team? Are they going to listen to offers for Tarek Skubal, or is he?
You always listen. Now, will you pull the trigger? Now, my thought is they should not trade him. They should not trade any of their pitchers, because I'm sick and tired of the Tigers pleading, we're just a second-rate team, and they don't fight organizationally to try to become an elite team. Here's what I would do. I would keep all my pitchers who can pitch. Maeda, you can get the hell out of here. But I would keep my pitchers for this one reason. If you make the playoffs, the Tigers could be one of the most dangerous teams in baseball. Now, you got young guys who are probably not there yet. Add on some veterans doing free agency during the offseason. Try to make your team better that way rather than just going for youth, which may or may not materialize.
Yeah. So spend money.
Yeah, because I heard Justin Verlander, that trade was going to make him better.
Well,
Scherzer, everything. They trade all these dudes away, and I look, they're still a bad team in a bad division.
Who was making them deals though? So I'm just saying.
It was the big man, fat man.
14 grit. Don't care about prospects. Keep the pitching staff together. Just to Terry. So that raises another question, Terry. So you're saying So you said this pitching staff. So that includes Flaherty, which you have to re-sign. So my question to you:
sign them.
These guys are worth, in your opinion, re-signing.
Yes.
So that's what you would do with the Scoobles long term. Flaherty on another deal.
Yeah. Right. I'm going to pull an old word that the young guys here are not going to know.
Okay.
But for the Tigers, stop being skinflints.
What the hell is that?
You know what a skinflint is?
Hell no.
That's a cheap ass. Don't be that.
Flint.
I'm pulling something out from the 30s.
Start using that, a skin flint.
Wow.
Stop being a skin
the
flint.
origin of
Be a
skinflint?
real organization.
I hear you. But
I think the fan base here, and when you talk to people, says, well, signing Flaherty and Scuba, it's going to cost a lot of money. Why do you give a damn?
I think it's the opposite. More people would want them to spend money, but the guy upstairs, he's a penny pincher, man. So I don't know.
He's a businessman.
Yeah. So I don't think, the deal for Flaherty, not Flaherty, but Scooble, it's got to be on the table at least, man, because we're not just talking about any type of prospects. Most of these prospects that at least the Orioles are offering are MLB ready to step into
we don't know
the
that for
lineup.
sure.
So, and we do got a lot of holes on this team, and he's not going to spend the money to cover these holes. So it's got to be on the table.
Well, that raises another question that Neil always talks about. And you brought up the Verlander trade, but isn't Neil always talking about, are you going to do it a way where you're going to get money off the books and not take the talent
Neil
in
and that
return?
money stuff.
No, but you didn't take the talent in return. You got Jake Rogers, you got whoever else. So they were lower talent. We're talking about you're going to, this is a different scenario. Would you move Scooble for 3 top prospects, not 5 to 10, but 1 to 5?
Yeah,
isn't it a different conversation?
The guys we talked about yesterday on heavyweights that I said I would do the deal. I don't want to trade Scooble, but if the Orioles offered you these 3 guys, which are nationally ranked, the first, 12th, and 15 prospects in Major League Baseball, Jackson Holliday, Samuel Basallo, and Kobe Mayo. And if they offer you those 3 guys, I think you got to take the deal.
At positions of need, by the way.
Jackson Holliday's a shortstop, Basallo's a catcher, first baseman, and Kobe Mayo's an outfielder.
Can I throw a little fly in your ointment? Tigers don't have a recent history of developing players very well.
I understand, but the Orioles already did your job for you.
Yeah, but then they come here and can regress.
But to that fact, isn't this a new regime? And isn't that you're talking about Avila's? And I know it's Scott here. This is his second year or whatever like this, but isn't that the question? Because you can't use the old with the new regime.
Yeah, but all I know is most of these dudes in this lineup were batting 220 until 2 weeks ago. Yeah. So now we have to figure out what we've seen the last 2 weeks of the Tigers. Is that where they're going to go, or are they going to resort to just being a team that can't score runs? In other words, and now that we're at the All-Star break and we're about to finish it, when the Tigers come back to play, are they going to keep rolling?
Yeah.
Or are they going to roll over and play dead?
We'll find out. They got a lot of games against the Central out of the gate, so that's going to really make or break their season. So
this is when you do it, because beating the Dodgers is cool, but the Dodgers were on a 4-game losing streak. But the key is, can you beat Kansas City? Can you beat Minnesota? Can you beat Cleveland? Yeah. That's going to make or break their season. And there's still a possibility, because I just don't think this division is very good. I don't care what Cleveland's record is. they're going to be a first-round knockout in the playoffs.
Suppose.
Well, that's obviously something. Jesus had brought up earlier that early in the season, some of our success was against the Central, but we also just witnessed before the Dodgers what the White Sox have done to us. So,
Right.
but again, restart, second half of the year. Just like if you want to get a haircut, where do you reset? Lady Jane's, of course, because awesome is when a guy can be a guy. Get an amazing haircut. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Stop in, sit back, relax. Let one of the Lady Jane's talented stylists make you look and feel great. Walking anytime, 7 days a week. Lady Jane's, it's wicked awesome.
So just to get the heated steering wheel, I also had to spring for the bigger rims.
Yeah, that's how they get you. Those upgrades will cost you an arm and a leg every time.
Hey, new car crew, how'd it go this weekend? I got a great deal on mine.
How?
I went to Randy Wise, not those other guys. They got me in a great new ride, and they didn't break my budget. Hey, could you pass me the sugar?
How?
Never mind.
He made the wise choice.
Yep.
Make the wise choice at randywisechevy.com.
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports. Enough Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz next, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
Feldman Chevrolet is Detroit's #1 Chevy dealer since 1996. That's a great year. A legend was born that year. Feldman Automotive has been driven to provide the fast, convenient, first-class car buying experience called the Feldman Advantage. With 18 locations, there's a Feldman dealership in your backyard. Visit feldmanauto.com to find the location nearest you and catch Woodward Sports Network live from Feldman Chevrolet of Novi every other Tuesday for the Woo Crew and Big D Energy.
Damn right.
It's Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
It creams in your mouth a little bit.
Welcome back, Big D Energy here.
I had to get that one off.
On a Thursday, yes, Ben, a year legend. Griffin McCurdy.
Thank you.
1996.
Oh, yeah.
Darren McCarty, Terry Foster in for Neil Rule, KG, Jesus. Spenmo, Rocks, talking baseball.
Six.
A little bit of the Tigers. So, second half, I throw it out to the chat thread or whatever. Do we expect, like Terry said, was what happened before the All-Star break just sort of like a misnomer, or are the bats coming alive? The first question I have to ask is Colt Keith, now he's got to come a little bit back down to earth.
Yeah.
But is this are we seeing that more than norm with him, the consistency, because you're getting it over a longer period of time and stuff like that? So I guess, do you look at it individually?
Yeah.
And if so, is it like the batting coach, or is it AJ Hinch, or Terry? What is it that all of a sudden wakes up these bats?
Well, I think here's the old saying, baseball season is a marathon, not a sprint. Every team, no matter how good or bad, has good stretches. So the Tigers have had their good stretch. They're going to come back down to earth a little bit. They're below 500 team for a reason. That's what they are. And so they're going to – I don't think they're going to keep this hot streak going. But they have to play well in their division if they're going to make something. I just don't think this team is very good. That's why I would keep my pitching.
Yeah.
And I would add some bats in the offseason. I'm building from what I have because you have young guys who could become something. Colt Keith could become something. Riley Green was an all-star, even though I disagree with it, but he was still an all-star. So build on what you have and get some vets in here.
But are these so if you build on what you have, but doesn't this put you sort of, like you said, you're not a good team, slowly but surely getting better, whereas
But you bring in a couple bats.
But then you got to pay money, right?
Yeah.
Pay them.
No, I understand, but then it gets back because that's the question that we always argue about is
Are they gonna pay?
Chris hasn't opened the checkbook, has he?
Well,
no, he hasn't. You know what?
Or do you think he's waiting?
No, he's not waiting. Look, I'm speaking about what I would do. Now, if you're asking me, well, what's Chris Ilitch going to do and what's his mentality? Then here's what I will say. Forget everything I just said. Trade Scooble, trade Flaherty, trade, and get prospects, because it seems like the Tigers always like to be too young, always like to be below the payroll.
Yeah.
All right. So with what I think they're going to do, trade them all. With what I would do, keep them and bring in some veterans and pay them.
That's what I think.
Then, but do you understand?
Spenny agrees.
This sense doesn't make sense. Like what you want to do makes sense if at the end of the thing you're going to spend money.
Right.
But if you're not going to spend money, then if you're not spending money, and I think Broder brings up a great point. The Orioles have the most major league ready guys,
Yes.
or whatever. So if you're not going to spend money, then don't you go on the cheap with younger
Yes.
youths and the whole.
If you're not going to spend money, screw what I said and just go on and bring in some more prospects. I'm just saying that this is a fan base that had almost a decade worth of rebuilding.
I get it.
This fan base doesn't deserve this. This fan base deserves a team ready to win at least by next season.
That's great. They deserve it. But what are they going to get?
You're right.
Right?
They're not going to get it. I'm trying to push the envelope, bro, Hammer.
Okay.
I'm not saying, let's just sit back.
You
and
don't
be
think trading
fat.
Scooble could do that?
Huh?
You don't think trading Scooble could do
No,
that?
they're going to bring in more prospects, and they're going to stay young. That's what the Tigers do.
I get that, but I'm not necessarily mad at that, because if you bring an influx of this kind of young talent in, then your owner doesn't have to spend as much money. We always talk about Chris not wanting to spend money. You go get those type of prospects that are damn near ready to come up now.
Then you
don't
got
have
to sign him to a Colt Keith contract if you're
Exactly.
going to extend him to what spending. I think the big point that might be getting missed here, and go back to check out the Woodward Heavyweights yesterday because they broke it down. But the three guys, Jackson Holiday, Samuel Basallo, and Kobe Mayer, they're all positions of need, aren't
Yes,
they?
yes.
Right? Like you mentioned that Basallo's catcher, first baseman.
Yeah. Two spots that we need.
Yeah.
What don't we have?
Catcher and first baseman.
Either or.
And a shortstop.
Either or, which one? And a shortstop,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Hey, fellas, you're not going to get all three of those players.
You don't
You're
know
not.
that.
It's just not going to happen.
You
So
don't know
Terry,
that.
my question is, and it never works that way. But could you get them because the Orioles' window is so right now because of the division that they're in, and they see it that if they believe Tarek Skubal that gets them over the edge and brings them that World Series, because to me it's always it's going to be the Yankees, the Bostons, Torontos, and the Orioles. So this might be their one chance.
It could be, because it's not the Orioles. It's never the Orioles. The Orioles want to be a big boy, because when we talk about
what Texas finally did.
Yeah,
Texas was
right.
always right.
But then they started spinning, and and they became very good. But Baltimore is never mentioned in the same breath as the Red Sox or the Yankees or even the Blue Jays. But now they're like, we got a shot.
Yeah.
So let's do it.
So why wouldn't
Let's
you
become
do a
a big
deal
boy.
like that? Because they're not going to spend the type of money that the Dodgers spend. So why wouldn't you do a deal like this now to put yourself ahead in that race, at least in terms of, coming out of the AL?
There's a chance, but I know, not know, but from my experiences with these trade rumors, and you never get what you're rumored to get. It's always a little less and blah, blah, blah. And I don't trust prospects, no matter how good they are, in the Tigers organization.
Well, I mean, you got to get with it, man, because this is Scott Harris's philosophy. He came from the Giants. That's how they did it. They built through young prospects. They spent money occasionally, but mostly they built it through young talent. This is the GM we have. So it's not like we can just keep saying, oh, let's just roll over and die. Like, you got to pick a side. Like, there's only one way for this team to get better, man. We all want this team to spend money. They're not going to spend it, or they're not going to spend that much. So what you going to do? Just roll over and die? Like, we have to at least trust that Scott Harris will be able to find the young talent that this team needs to get over the hump.
Hey, Spenny Broder asked you a great question, right? Because if we're going to move this, would you throw in Flaherty to get the 4 prospect trade?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Right? What do the Orioles need? Pitching.
They need pitching.
Pitching, right? So it could be the 2 of them for 4 guys or...
Yeah, I would do that in a heartbeat. If you're trading Skubal, you're trading Flaherty. And the way I look at it with Skubal, I obviously want to see him still as a Tiger. I would love to see them sign him to a $300 million contract and then go get some bats. I don't think that's a realistic thing that Chris Ilitch is going to do. I have more faith in Chris Ilitch getting these young guys and then paying for 1 starter. Like, you could have all these young guys and then you go out and you pay for 1 starter rather than paying Tariq Skubal for $300 million and then paying $200 million bats. I think it makes more sense for him to have these young guys and then go pay $100 million for 1 arm.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm in bizarro world, but I'm just not interested in trading my top 2 pitchers.
But you got to look at what we have, too. You have a pitching coach in Chris Fetter that turned Jack Flaherty around. I have confidence in what they can do pitching-wise. You have a Reese Olson who's been unlucky but consistent. You have Jackson Jobe coming up the pipeline. There are options there. It's not like trading a pitcher, a dominant pitcher, is the worst thing in the world. We've seen other teams do it and be successful. I understand it hasn't happened here, but that's because of the people that were in charge.
But and here's the whole thing, right? With a return. Yes. That's what we're talking about. We're talking about a legitimate AA, AAA prospect, major league on the precipice return. Not the draft choice, not the hope, not the high school kid, not trying to get money off the books like it was done before. Yeah, we've had Cy Young pitchers here.
Yeah.
And
2 of
you're
them.
right. I have faith.
At the same time.
I have more faith
come on.
The way that they're putting this together, and that Scott Harris and the Tigers organization, like the Giants did, like Tampa Bay, Young, and let's go. I think it's just direction. I think you're not wrong, Terry. Is this show me direction? If you want to keep them, you could go this way, but you're missing, and we agree, they're not spending the money. So I think that plan is out.
Well, and as I've said, if they're not going to spend the money, then whatever I said, just say, Terry, go to hell. I'm simply saying, if I were in charge, I'd be a lot more aggressive with these guys. I like pitching. And probably starting pitching is diminished in Major League Baseball now. It's not what it used to be because after 6 innings, you got to sit down. You can't finish the game. Even if you have a no-hitter, you got to sit your ass down. So it's not the same it was before, but I like having Flaherty and Skubal on my backside over here. Let's roll because I'm thinking of a way to get them in the playoffs. If you have Flaherty and Skubal, and even if you're not a great hitting team, you're much more dangerous in the playoff situation.
No, I hear you. True. I hear you.
Because I know their number 2 and 3 pitchers are not going to be as good as mine. And probably my starter is going to be better than there. So I'm ready to roll that way.
But even with all the most dominant pitching in the world, if you can't get a hit at the plate, what is it all for?
Right. And just think about what the position the Tigers, all they got to do is score 3 runs.
Yeah.
And they're good.
Yeah.
But they can't score 3 runs.
And they can't do it. So now you got to figure out a way.
If they could score 3 runs, they'd be in the playoffs right now.
Yeah, seriously.
Right.
Seriously. But I just look at it like I would much rather have a flurry of everyday players than as opposed to a guy that's dominant, but you only see him every 5 days. So I want to jumpstart this offense in any way I can. You can make up the pitching later. They can figure it out.
Well, we got to see, and it's whether, like, we all agree we don't think they're going to spend money, but is this hitting for real or whatever else? I don't really see until I see it more consistently, and then you got to see it against the East. So, Terry, go to hell. Spenny, tell me where to get some pet.
I will. Premier Pet Supply, of course, because Premier Pet Supply is hands down Michigan's best pet store. Same prices and all the conveniences the online and big box retailers, with one major difference: they're family and locally owned and operated for over 30 years. 60 brands of food and nutrition experts to help you. Same day local curbside home delivery. Premier Pet Supply. Give your pet the best. www.premierpetsupplies.com.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
Congratulations to the real Coach of the Year, Motor City Dan Campbell.
Just put your head down and go to work. It's about to be fun, man. It's about to be fun.
Woodward Sports. A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
Looking for the best Detroit sports merch in the game? Go to shop.woodwardsports.com. We got the Boo Them Kids shirt.
Boo Them Kids.
We got the Stoke Not Scared shirt. We got the Jack Campbell Meat Missile shirt. Make sure you tap into shop.woodwardsports.com. Buy it for yourself. Buy it for your friends. Buy it for your wife. She might leave you if you do, but it's all right.
Call
Woodward
KDK.
Sports, KDK Law. Shop.woodwardsports.com for the best merch in the game. Now back to the desk.
Welcome back, Big D Energy here on a Thursday. D-Mac, T. Foss, Spenny, Jesus, NKG. Talking baseball, talking a little golf in the opener, stuff like this. I want to switch gears because we got T. Foss here, and then if you do not, bombard the man with some basketball questions that we all have.
Yeah.
And there's a couple interesting ones, but the first one that I always want to ask you, and I haven't had a chance to ask you in passing, the J.D. Bickerstaff signing. Do you like it?
I do from the standpoint that he's here to develop players, and that's what he's done before. He did it in Cleveland. I don't look at the Pistons as a team that's going to contend for the playoffs anytime soon. But they have a bunch of players who can't play defense, and I think Bickerstaff is going to at least put a defensive starting block in for them, and that could be the catalyst for them becoming good. You had a coach here who didn't want to be here. He's showing up, getting his paychecks, but Bickerstaff at least wants to be here. He wants to prove that he can do something. If he can do something with the Pistons, that's going to really elevate his presence in the National Basketball Association. But this is a guy that's going to preach playing defense, and I think they need a younger voice, and Bickerstaff is that younger voice that they need to hear. So I applaud the decision to hire him.
So you need buy-in, right?
Yeah.
And obviously, this being a young team and stuff like this. So I asked you, I asked earlier when we were talking about the summer league, is there anything that you can take from it? Would you start seeing a little, what is Terry Foster? How do you assess what you just said? Where you see the defensive and obviously as the games come and they don't allow as many points and stuff like this, but when you're talking about that fundamental defensive mentality that wasn't there, how do we see that as fans?
Well, you can see it in summer league because even though these guys won't be on the roster, you can see a blueprint in place for these guys playing a certain style of defense. Mm-hmm. So if they're teaching it to these guys who are not going to be on the roster, they're eventually going to teach it to guys like Ivy and Jalen Duren. So guys that are actually going to be on the roster, they're going to have the same concepts, and so that will, you will see that, and that's going to make the Pistons a better team.
No, no, 100%. You brought up Jalen Ivy. Is there in Terry? You've been around this game, right? I don't understand. I never get it. Is these guys can't be on the floor together, or they do too much of the same thing or whatever like that. To me, talent's talent. You find a way to get your best players on the court. Is
true. But let me just say that's baloney.
What's baloney?
What you can't have guys on the court at the same time.
Yeah, okay.
But with that said, I would start Cunningham and Ivy. But what I would do is I would stagger them throughout the game. So I would have Cunningham out there, then give him a blow, have Ivy out there, because what that does is it gives the opponent a different look. Cade is going to be deliberate. And so, and that's fine. But then, and Ivy, I know we criticize him because he turns the ball over too much and he's buggish, but it gives the opponent a different look. They're like, oh man, we were just like chilling. Now we can't do that anymore.
Yeah.
So that's why I would stagger them. But if the game is tight at the end, I'd put them back together.
So the rotation and stuff like this. What about the draft and the young guys that they got? And,
Ron Holland.
You know, as far as do you
Bobby
find these
Klintman.
guys being a part of it, like not world beaters, but role players,
Rotational players.
rotational guys.
I didn't have. I was like most experts. I didn't have a lot of respect for this draft. So what you do is you get your role players, and role players, pardon the pun, play a big role if you're going to become a good team. So everybody doesn't have to be a superstar, but you have to have somebody who's going to defend, hit an occasional three, and I think that's what they got in the draft this year. And I think we're going to have a little surprise. What's his name? Clinton?
Yeah, yep. Bobby Klintman, yeah.
Yeah, I think that he's going to be a little sneaky dude.
Yeah.
So how much better? So right now you're telling me that we've improved. Like all you can ask for is like in the off season.
Yeah.
Has this team improved? How much with the new coach, with the draft, with the system? How much improvement do you see for this Pistons team this year?
Okay, I'm going to smack myself.
Okay.
But I see dramatic improvement from this standpoint. One, you got a coach who wants to be here.
Yep.
B, you're not going to waste the first half of the season playing.
Killian
Hayes.
Went
blank.
Killian Hayes.
Yeah, Killian Hayes.
Yep.
He's not going to be on the floor. In fact, I heard they won't even let him in the building. he could put money down for a ticket and they won't let him in.
Wow. That bad.
That's how bad he was.
That bad.
He was bad.
I mean, how around the room, like just middle of summer, real quick. How many more wins this year do the Pistons have?
I'm in agreement with Terry. I think it could be over 30 wins for this team this year.
Yeah. My magic number is 32.
32.
I'm not mad
being
at that.
aggressive.
I think they're going to at least double their win total from last year.
Yeah.
So like 14?
Yeah, at least, It sounds crazy, but you only won 14 games. So at least 20.
Spinny said, they're going to win 15. They're going to be a lot better than 15.
No, Spinny got a pulse, man.
At least 28 wins is what I'm saying.
I got 29. Flannel has to buy me lunch.
29?
29, so that Flannel has to buy me lunch. We have a bet on 28 and a half.
That's a comfortable.
Oh, wow.
DraftKings put them at 24 and a half for their over-under.
Yeah. Damn, I got a bad number.
Did anybody remember what they had them at last year?
27 and a half.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, they're over like crazy. They're over.
Right.
Real
But
quick,
it was never
because
supposed to be
this
that
came
bad.
across and I sort of chuckled at this. But to Terry's point about whether it's a coach or player, that you want guys that want to be here and go out and get your role players.
And the coach
Will
that
you
wants to be here.
elaborate on this Patrick Beverly, the Brad Marchand of the NBA,
Man.
which means rat, Tammy. Patrick Beverly chooses to go play in which war-torn country?
Israel. Yeah.
He went to play basketball in Israel.
Yeah, so here is the report. It's Patrick Beverly received interest from the Detroit Pistons and Houston Rockets for the veteran minimum over the last few days, but he preferred Hapoel Tel Aviv because the challenge to win both Israel League and the Euro Cup, according to Sports Alt G. And yeah, so he was the veteran minimum for a 12-year veteran like Patrick Beverly would have been around $3.3 million a season. He signed a contract with an Israel team for 2 years, $4 million. So not only is he going to play in a war-torn country, he's doing it for less money than he would have received for the Pistons.
He must have been deported or something, because that makes absolutely no sense. Here's the other little dirty little secret. You may or may not get paid when you go overseas.
Yeah, for
They
real.
don't pay you all the time.
Yeah. I mean, that's the risk he runs, though. But, I mean, good riddance, man. Like,
I hate Patrick
it's not like he was some transcendent talent. I mean, he was a solid role player. And I'm not a Patrick Beverly hater by any means, but he wouldn't have done that much more for this Pistons team. I don't necessarily view him as a leader or somebody that can really, really help the young guys. So if he didn't want to take the vet minimum, which I think he was probably just trying to ring chase, and he couldn't get a contract from a contender, so he just chose to go overseas, then so be it, man. Good riddance.
Yeah, but if you win a ring in Israel, does that really count?
No.
No.
That may get him.
To him, it does.
Yeah, it may get him back into the NBA.
You know what? Yeah, maybe he didn't want to compete.
Yeah.
So maybe that's why he left.
I think the Pistons were looking to get him at a veteran minimum to be a bench guy, a voice in the locker room, probably not too much of a contributor on the court.
Yeah.
I think he wants to actually play basketball still. That's the only reason I can make sense of
Little
it.
yappy dog on the bench.
That's the only reason I can make, because he took less money to go play in a war-torn country.
Right. No sense.
The only reason I can make sense of it is he wants actual playing time.
Chase that ring in Israel.
Yeah.
Right. Have fun.
Patrick Beverly, enjoy the motherland, my friend.
You're right.
And to your
he
point,
might have
Terry,
screwed
I don't
himself.
know about NBA or any basketball or anything, but
It's the
hockey,
best
when
league in
guys
the
used to
world.
Go to Russia and stuff.
That's false.
Some of the places, you might want to get your cash up front.
Yeah, you might get
Yeah,
Brittany
that's true.
Griner.
Allegedly.
Yeah.
Well, you
What I
get free housing
I
overseas.
Might get bombed, but
I was about to say.
might get bombed up. But I mean, yeah, that's on him, man. But he might have just made a big mistake in terms of if he wants to go over here and then has plans to come back to the NBA, you might have just screwed yourself.
Yeah. And the best part of this is 4 years ago, Patrick Beverly had the infamous quote to Steph Curry, the last 5 years were yours, the next 5 years are mine. You looked at Steph Curry.
Mazel tov.
Steph Curry is leading Team USA, and Patrick Beverly's playing in Israel.
Maybe he came here and met with some Piston players, and they said, dude, we don't want to play with you. Get the hell out of here.
You're right.
I don't know.
All right, Spenny, what are you working on today?
Today is back.
Where are you going to be doing that at?
I am going to be doing that at Planet Fitness, because Planet Fitness is the home of the judgment-free zone where anybody can work out and feel comfortable in a clean location with knowledgeable, friendly staff. You get the use of all the amenities if you upgrade to the Black Card, such as hydro massage, full body enhancement, tanning beds, and access to over 2,500 locations around the world. Planet Fitness, you can go online or join in-store. It's Planet Fitness, Darren McCarty.
Planet Fitness, where your fitness is essential.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! Detroit sports. Make sure you listen to Ermanni and Edwards with Maz next, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on the Woodward Sports Network.
This summer, Dispo Dispensary is turning up the heat with amazing giveaways and exclusive offers. Enter for a chance to win a signed football jersey and helmet from your favorite sports team. Screenshot this image with the QR code, bring it into one of their locations to get scanned, and you'll get free $10 to spend in store. This will automatically qualify you for the giveaway. Dispo Dispensary. Visit today, disposhops.com. Big G Energy here on a thirsty Thursday. D-Mac, T-Foss, Spenmo, Rax, KG, and Jesus in. We, just talked some baseball, some Tigers, talked about the Pistons a little bit. I'd be remiss. Top of the hour. Let's talk some football, boys, hey? Because there's a couple things that I came across my the wire in front of me, and I had to sit back and look, swallow, sort of chuckle, and then sort of we'll see one of those attitudes. And I was wondering if you guys out there had the same attitude. If you know what I mean, and many of you might be out there using some of these betting app sites, Terry, like FanDuel. Because FanDuel said the Lions are the Second. What? Second best team in the NFC North.
Second.
A, did anybody take offense to that? And B, what was your initial reaction? Mine was, I laughed. Because we'll see.
Did you read it wrong? Was it the second best team in the NFC?
No, they got it right here, Terry. It's
NFC North.
Yep.
NFC North.
They got the Packers number 1, the Lions number 2, Bears, then Vikings.
Now, so here we are, July. What do we got until training camp? A few days?
Yeah.
It's on Saturday. Training camp's on Saturday, 7
so we
days
got a few
to our
days
first
till
preseason
camp or
game.
whatever. Now, break it down a little bit more. Because when this came across and I saw that, Terry, and yes, to your point, double read it to see, did it say NFC North or did it say NFC, right? But I didn't react like I think I would have last year or whatever. I went like, oh, okay. Disrespect my boys so they can put that up for bulletin board.
I think this is a good thing.
Like that. I think this is a good thing. Anytime this team, especially where it's at now, has any doubters, we've seen how they've reacted.
Yeah.
And it's been through work. So going into training camp 2 days from now, thank you, FanDuel. Thank you very much for doing that. That's the best preparation. So that was my snicker. Sort of get a little bit, oh, we'll see, but, oh, wow. Blackboard material.
It is, but to me, I don't understand what the Lions have to do to show certain people, and I think this is a minority thing, to show that they are an elite NFL team.
You know what they got to do.
This is not the same old Lions. This isn't the same organization. They're legit. So, and Green Bay, I think part of his reputation, Green Bay's always there. Green Bay is sort of on the division, and they must think Jordan Love is going to be great. That's what this is all about. Jordan Love is going to be the breakout quarterback this year. If you believe that Green Bay is going to win this division, I just don't see it.
I don't either. And actually, Spenny O'Toole says that's FanDuel. If you're a book and you know Lions are a lock for the winner, they might be trying to doubt with the bettors.
That's what I was about to say.
What would that be more? Because again, does this go back to what I always say? Don't tell me what, tell me who. Who's it coming from? What's their agenda? I don't care as an athlete or whatever, as a coach or when I'm trying to motivate my players, especially 2 days away from training camp. You know, I don't care who's doubting me. It doesn't matter if somebody who's never played the game or seen football at all says the Lions. I'm using that as the coach for motivation.
Yeah. But here's how this is good for Lion fans. You know, Lion fans are going to put some money on their favorite team.
Big fact.
So they just get a little bit bigger payout.
Yeah.
So this is actually a blessing.
It's a blessing in disguise. Somebody's going to get rich.
All of us Lions fans. Spenny, do you feel it's like a get like this?
Yeah.
Or do you feel like, or do you immediately feel like a little bit of disrespect like we always?
I think it's the disrespect, honestly. I think it's some rage bait, and we're definitely buying into it, but it's just ridiculous to me. Yeah. It came out that the Lions have the second most players in the NFL in the top 100, and, like, I understand if you love Jordan Love and think he's going to be the guy. Like, I liked what I saw out of Jordan Love in the second half of last year a lot, but I need to see them do it. I liked some of the additions the Packers made. I really like their receiving core. I think they got 4 really, really good young receivers, but they're not better than the Lions. You cannot convince me that. I don't care what you tell me.
And I mean this with all due disrespect to Green Bay.
Talk your shit.
Because if you look up and down at both rosters, the Lions' positional groups are almost better all the way across the board. And that's what leads me to, they are just doing this for the clicks. They are doing it to get the casual fan to still think the Packers are this unholy good team that they're not. The Lions have proved over the last 2 years that they have a better infrastructure than the Packers and they are more prepared to win than the Packers. And it's just going to continue this year as they did. They made great additions, but so did we. We got DJ Reader. We got Carlton Davis. We got Terran Arnold, Rakestraw. Like, we made additions to everywhere that was our weakness last year. And that's why it just makes zero sense that media outlet company, other than the fact to get clicks and to mislead people, would they post a graphic like this?
Now, yesterday you missed a little show because you were probably in Scandinavia or somewhere. I don't know where you were, but we were talking about what concerns do you have about the Lions? And we all sat up here and went, oh, you know what? The number 3 receiver may not be stout. If you got to talk about the number 3 receiver being your worry, that means you're in pretty good shape.
Damn right.
The number one concern, which is always it's health.
Yeah.
It's
injury.
not roster.
Besides that, yeah.
No, but I mean but Terry, when we can look and go, man, I just hope this roster stays healthy, which means how many times in the past? I mean, gosh, you've covered them forever. But to your point, when we're focused on the 3rd receiver as far as in the talent pool or of guys that aren't on board, like it's a mentality. One of the things that was brought up when Jesus was rightfully disrespecting all the Packers fans and stuff. See, we're the ones that think about that all the time. The rest of the division more so. I would think like the Packers, right? The Packers only sort of think about us when it comes around to that week or whatever like that. Our focus is always in this North Division. And it has to be because I believe this North Division is going to be one of the best divisions in the next 2-3 years.
Yeah, but, I think the Bears will be there. And I'm talking about the next 4 to 5 years, maybe not this year.
This NFC North is going to be...
It's going to be fun.
Yeah.
Now, what's going to happen is going to be some nail-biting games. You're going to be like, oh, my God, the Lions only up 4 and there's 3 minutes left, or are they down 3? It's going to be very competitive. It's going to be a lot of fun, but it's going to be scary. But I still think this Lions team is still on this. This is a young team, and they're puppies out there.
Yeah.
And they're playing at this high level, which means they're only going to get better.
I just opened up FanDuel, and it's ridiculous that they put up even a graphic about that because the Lions are still plus 135 compared to Green Bay's plus 195 to win the NFC North.
Makes no sense.
Like, what the hell are we doing, FanDuel?
Makes
Literally.
no sense.
That is trolling at its finest.
So the Lions are favored, but they're not. Is that what they're saying?
Yeah,
pretty much.
All right. Maybe they just did this to get goofballs like us to talk about it.
This might be a play to get people on the other side.
And maybe we getting played.
Yeah, they trying to recoup some money.
Yeah, I mean, plus 135. What was the rest? What was Minnesota and Chicago? But, no. But so to your point, Terry, then where would you say, in your honest opinion, where do they rank in the NFC overall?
I think the Lions and the Niners are going to be battling it out for NFC supremacy.
Right, and before, right, whereas we all believe that it's us and San Fran, and the fact that we've made that step and we're stepping above Philadelphia.
Yeah,
right.
Philly is a team to watch too, though.
Yeah, I don't want to sleep
with
on
the
Philly.
additions that they made this year. I understand how they fell off last year, but it was a lot going on.
It's the same thing as that what we're fighting with.
No, it's true.
Last year.
Yeah,
but something happened in that dressing room last year.
I agree, Terry. There's something that's wrong, and I don't know if it's coach quarterback.
Does the Dragon rear its head again?
I think they did a good job by adding 2 great coordinators to their team. I think that'll help in the fall off last year. I don't believe in Nick Sirianni as a good coach at all.
Either.
But they added a great offensive coordinator in Kellen Moore, and their defensive coordinator, I believe, is Vic Fangio.
Yeah,
they added so. They're going to be a pretty damn good team, and they obviously adding Saquon Barkley is huge. Losing Jason Kelsey is definitely a blow, but they still got a top 7 offensive line.
Drafted well.
Yeah, they drafted well. They added Bryce Huff to replace Hassan Reddick. I think Philly's going to be pretty damn good next year.
I do have those numbers for you, D-Mac. And they are the Chicago Bears plus 330 and the Vikings at plus 950.
Whoa.
Well, for all you J.J. McCarthy believers, there you go.
But place your bets.
Good money on
All right, place your bets, man.
He's not going to play at least early.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said he's quarterback 3 right now.
Yeah, that's what they said. Well, if he's quarterback 3, then
yeah.
Well,
I guess Ryan Ermanni. Oh, yeah, JJ's going to be the best quarterback in the NFL. He's going to be the best rookie. Watch it.
Hey, another interesting thing that came across as we get into talking about training camp, we'll get into when we come back. But Can you guys name 3 offensive tackles better than Penei Sewell?
Hell no.
No.
You mean of all time? No.
Well,
I can barely
just so
do that.
You know, right? That thing Neil doesn't subscribe to, but Flannel bases all his opinions off of PFF.
Yep.
Fit your narrative. Well, they say it is. So there's more blasphemy to be
missed it the
had. But
first time.
first, let me tell you about Swiss Insurance. Now more than ever, it is critical for you to have your insurance reviewed. How do you do that? Swiss Insurance will make your carrier sure they're not slipping in extra fees. Go to my buddy Mark today at Swiss Insurance, 313-530-1698, or go to swissins.com.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
What happens when you run a great business for over 50 years? Well, you expand and offer more products to more people. Exactly what Les Stanford did by adding Les Stanford Buick. GMC, same great service customers have come to know and trust. Woodward Ave, just south of 9 Mile. Check out Les Stanford in Dearborn today. LesStanford.com, Les Stanford Chevrolet. Together, let's drive. Welcome back, Big D Energy here on a Thursday. T-Foss in for Neil, D-Mac, KG Juices. Spenmo, Rax, talking some Lions, talking about, out in the ether as a couple days, Saturday training camp begins, and maybe some things that come to point that may be a little bit disrespectful, or maybe it's just people running their gums, like FanDuel, trying to get people to spend money on something else and not even believing it to themselves. So congratulations on tour.
Or maybe they let the interns take over and they don't know what's happening. That could be it.
Yeah, there you go.
It's always possible.
But are there 3 better offensive tackles in the NFL other than Penei Sewell?
I can't name one.
Willie Roaf.
They got him ranked 28 out of their top 50. They're doing their top 50 player rankings. They have Penei Sewell ranked at 28. He is 4th in his position rankings. The players ahead of him in his position are Trent Williams, Lane Johnson, and Tristan Wirfs. Even though last year Penei Sewell was the number 1 ranked PFF offensive tackle.
Makes no sense.
So I don't know. I fuck you, PFF. That's just,
and am I not correct in saying that Penei Sewell is the youngest?
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. So
between him and Wirfs,
we know
Lane.
We know
him and Wirfs are probably the same age.
Right. Wirfs is in Tampa.
Yep.
Johnson's in Philly.
Yep.
Williams is in San Fran.
And you know what?
Gold jacket.
Trent Williams is developing juicy booty.
That's just.
But that's all you got to do on the left side.
Nah,
what did you?
He's not what he used to be.
Juicy.
Penei Sewell, look, this dude locks people down. I mean, they try to, teams try to switch their edge rusher to side. They come over where Penei Sewell is. You don't even hear from him again. It's as if they're sitting on the bench.
The guy gave up 1 second.
That's how good this guy is.
If you want to take the most serious poll or whatever else, what's the players say?
Yeah.
What do the players say? Who's the tough? Who's? I'd say the defensive linemen and edge rushers. Who's their toughest? Who are blitzing linebackers and safeties and stuff? Who not only players but units.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the PFF-ish. What do the players say?
Yeah.
Because Terry, everything you're saying is what we as fans watch, isn't it?
Yeah.
Don't I watch that? Don't I? We sit up here and we, tell whoever, how he makes Micah Parsons inept and how he's pushing guys. Watch this 5-7 yards off the line. You know, different things like that. Isn't that the way it is? So again, it's all, and it is PFF, so we know it's whatever your narrative is.
Yeah, it doesn't PFF have a reputation just doing goofy shit now and then?
Yes, they do. They kind of jumped the shark.
Yeah, for the most part, we respect it, but then now and then we go, whoa, what did they just do?
Right.
So they're coming up with some numbers.
I put up there that Penei Sewell is 28 out of the top 50. When you're looking at that list, right, where should he be in that list? Is it?
He should be top 20 because Tristan Wirfs is number 22.
Okay.
It's crazy.
And he's third. So if you got to think Trent Williams is probably top 10. Yeah. I would assume they're at 18. They just reached 18. And
here's the question right now: you're starting your team. Which one of those four are you?
Penei Sewell, and it isn't close.
Penei Sewell all day.
Yeah, and it isn't close.
You can maybe make an argument for Wirfs, but Trent Williams, he's been great for a long time, but he's had injury issues. He's getting long in the tooth. Lane Johnson, he's another veteran, but I would still put Penei over him at this point. Tristan Wirfs is arguable, but it's Penei. He gave up 1 sack in 17 games. People, like, this kid is we're already talking gold jacket, and it's only year 3, so he's only gonna get better.
True, amen. And
he's not even playing his position.
Yeah, and he's playing out of position. That's
right.
a good point.
Maybe, and let me take their step. Maybe they're saying, well, because he's playing right tackle, we're gonna shoot him down just a little bit.
You lose marks, right? Well, Johnson's right tackle.
Yeah.
Then I am going to fall on the sword. I don't know what to tell you. Other than they must have some 15-year-old intern ranking players. I don't know what else to say.
Penei Sewell, I believe Penei Sewell is the best non-quarterback player in the NFL. Like, I think this guy, the only people that I would take an argument with are like Myles Garrett, Justin Jefferson, and Tyreek Hill. Those are the only. McCaffrey. Those are the only guys that I would take the argument with. But I think what Penei Sewell does, what he brings to your team, how he plays every game. He's 23 years old and he's the best offensive lineman in the NFL. Yeah. Like, what the fuck are we doing? I hate you, PFF.
Yep.
You rated him as the best offensive lineman in the NFL.
Right.
You guys did that.
But isn't that a sign? Isn't that a sign of that you're making it, Terry, is when you're getting the disrespect? Because I think back about, our teams. There were always the Red Wing teams back in the 90s, 2000s. There was always not tough enough or always dogged for different
that's
things.
right. And you know who was left off the top 50 players in, was it hockey? In the hockey magazines?
Who?
Steve Yzerman.
Was he really?
Yeah. When the first time they came out, he wasn't on it. And then they came out later, and all of a sudden, he's like one of the top 50 players.
Yeah.
But at that time, he was a top 50
player.
player.
I think you're referencing when he was the third best player behind Gretzky and Lemieux points-wise. But until then, once he won, that to everybody else solidified that. And that might be something too with the rankings.
Yeah.
So who knows? But I like it though. So if you're Penei Sewell, Spenny, hey, okay. Well, how about this scenario? If I'm going into training camp and I'm one of his lineman buddies or whatever like that, hey, fourth best, bro?
Right.
That's gonna motivate him. So Spenny, don't worry about it. PFF's only doing your job to get him.
Give him jersey number 4.
Right. As if he needed more motivation.
I think that's what you want to. When you have a good team, is how does this stuff hit in the locker room? And to me, any of this stuff where you're doubted, hits his motivation, because to me, that's the message the coach tells me.
Yeah, this is all good for the Lions because more than any other team, and they're motivated by everything. This is like a bunch of Michael Jordans on there. Yeah. Michael Jordan used to make up stuff that somebody said something about him and he got all pissed off. They didn't even say it about him.
Yeah.
So now this is real. Penei Sewell, after they lost to San Francisco, this dude was pissed off.
Mm-hmm.
Keep that anger I'd rather have him angry and then let Dan Campbell be the motivator and say all the silly stuff and everything, but let his players have like that dark cloud over their head, like they have something to prove. And the one thing that I'm just a little bit concerned about the Lions, not much, but we always talk about injuries, but will they have that motivation this year? They've been near the top, and it's easy to come down when you've lost an NFC championship game, but you need that carrot in front of you. What's motivating me? And maybe stuff like, the second best team behind Green Bay might keep them on edge. Dan Campbell will keep them on edge. Mm-hmm. And for Penei Sewell, who gets angry at everything, even though he's a really good dude, he gets angry at everything, this might be the motivation that he needs. Who knows?
No, I 100% agree. Which, leading into training camp, is there anything, is there something in the back of your mind like that you're looking for? Or is there a player that you want to, see out there? Like just as training camp gets going, obviously you don't want anybody to get hurt.
Yeah.
Right? But is there something that you're looking to see? Because it's training camp now is starting to hit differently.
Yeah.
Right? It's starting to hit like it used to be for us when we go to training camp, and it'd all be about winning the championship that year. That's exactly what.
Yep.
When they open the doors on Saturday, that's their goal.
Yes,
and that
sir.
first speech is it's championship or bust. We either have this Lombardi Trophy back here or not.
Mm-hmm.
That's
the motivation.
Mentality. But anybody got a player or got anything that like they want to see?
Go ahead, T.
I think Terrion Arnold. I'm just intrigued by this dude. Now, if you ask me anytime, I don't trust rookie cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm.
But this dude might be different. This dude, I like his attitude, and maybe I've seen too much of his little workouts, man. This dude does crazy stuff in workouts and stuff.
Bama
He's
boy.
very athletic. He can jump. He's an Alabama boy. So he's a guy that I really want to watch because I'm curious about how much help he's going to get from the defensive line. I always believe that if you have a great defensive line, you can make cornerbacks look better than they actually are. But this guy really intrigues me.
Yeah. I'm personally looking forward to a few players. One, J-Mo. I definitely want to see the improvements that he's going to make throughout this season and finally taking on that number 2 role. I want to see what they're going to do with Shone Vaki because they moved up to get him. He's an interesting player. He can play all over the field, defense, special teams. And when they were scouting him, they had him with the running back room. So clearly they have a clear-cut plan as to how they want to use him, especially offensively. And then Hendon Hooker, and not from the aspect that he's going to be the future, at the quarterback position for the Lions. But if Jared Goff goes down, we need to know that we have a capable backup back there in case anything goes wrong. So I want to see what he looks like now that he's finally getting NFL reps, and we will see him in the preseason for the majority of the preseason. So I definitely want to see what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, supposedly he hasn't been good yet.
Yeah, there's been a lot of reports saying he struggled through OTAs.
But sometimes you turn it on when it's an actual game, that you're more focused and you still have time, but hopefully you never see Hendon Hooker this season.
Who are you, Jesus?
I got a couple, actually. So I want to see Carlton Davis. The people say that he has health concerns over the last couple of years and he hasn't been playing at that elite level, so I'd love to see him return to form. I'm excited to have an elite defensive tackle in this room with DJ Reader and how that affects Aleem McNeil and how hopefully Aleem can grow off of DJ Reader. And then the last guy is Marcus Davenport. I really want to hope that he stays healthy and hope that he can be a contributor on this team, because if he is healthy, he is the better than James Houston and will be your second pass rusher from the edge. And I would love to see the electricity that he can bring on the other side opposite Hutchinson if he can stay healthy.
This is a defensive line brother over here, man. You want to see the big hogs go at it.
Spenny?
Number 1, I think, is Jameson Williams. The difference between this offense being top 10 and top 2 in the NFL is Jameson Williams and what he can do in this system and complementing Amon-Ra St. Brown and Sam Laporta and those guys. Another guy I'm looking forward to seeing in camp is Jack Campbell. to see the strides that he's taken. I expect him to take a leap this year. I expect him to be a 120-plus tackle guy on the season. I think putting DJ Reader in front of him is going to be extremely beneficial for him. He's not going to have to worry about making up for things or selling out. DJ Reader takes up three gaps in his own right, so Jack Campbell could just see ball, hit ball, which is what he does best when he's getting downhill and being the menace that he is. And then the third piece, I'd like to see Amik Robertson and what he could do out there. He's going to be always a guy that's had a chip on his shoulder, always a guy that's had to earn and was never given anything. He finally comes to a situation where they paid him. It's a bad secondary, so he's like, all right, I'm going to get the starting spot. And then they go out there and they draft 2 rookies that are seemingly, one of them at least for sure is ahead of him on the depth chart. So I'd love to see what Amik Robertson could do on this team. He's talking like he's a starter on social media. He's talking like he's the guy that needs to get beat out for his position. And I'm excited to see him bring that dog mentality to the secondary.
Yeah, I think I'm along the lines of combination, but the secondary and the receivers, I want to see this competition, right, as they all come together, because think about when you're playing against, and I know this from practicing against the Russian Five and all the Hall of Famers and stuff like this, when you're going up against them, so you got J-Mo and Amon-Ra and Laporta and the offense of this Lions, but this development of this defense and how they're going to react together. I think Terry brought up a great point. This is one of the most athletic backfields we've had.
Facts.
Right? Like athletes.
Yeah.
And, pedigree, whatever like that, the mentality of the Alabama. So that, and to Brandon Hassel brought up a great point, bringing in Terrell Williams as the defensive line coach. What does that look like? Different things, highly respected guy around the league. So, I mean, how can you not be excited? So
yeah, and a great motivator too. I mean, he's like Dan Campbell mode. He's out of that mode, and he's gonna get in players' spaces and stuff. And so yeah, he's a critical.
And they built
also
that locker room where everybody has to have that coat of our, to be able to handle that, right? Whether when the coaches come in, and they got guys that get motivated that way.
It's a loud dressing room.
Yeah.
Really loud. The coaches are loud. Some of the players are louder than they were before. And one of my issues with the Lions is they drafted all these little goody-goody two-shoes, and they were real quiet and respectful and didn't say anything, and there was really no great leadership. The guy that got a lot of credit for leadership, and he really wasn't, was Chris Spielman. Chris Spielman didn't go around and, breathe fire, and he was a self-motivator.
And it was more of his actions on the field.
Now you walk in there and people are talking. And it's not just talking trash, but you're talking about positioning. You're talking about how my mate over here can get better.
Yeah.
What I'm going to do to motivate you. So communication is a huge part of sports, and it doesn't get much credit. They're communicating better.
No, and that's all you can ask. So exciting, couple days away. Who's telling us about the morning show?
I will tell you guys about the morning show.
Look at that.
Right.
The heavyweights morning show workout.
Because before Big D Energy every day, you can wake up with the Woo Crew. That is the morning show. Wake up, Woodward. You got Brandon Kool-Aid Dent fresh out of the Summer League in Las Vegas. You've got Sam Flannel. You've got Matt Broder. Of course, KG and JB are holding it down in their separate boxes. And you've got Juices chipping in when he can. It's the morning show. Wake up, Woodward, from 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. every single day. Make sure you guys don't miss it here on the Woodward Sports Network.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola? Really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody! Attention sports fans, don't miss out on expert sports injury insights with Dr. Jeff Pierce of Michigan Sports and Spine. Join Dr. Pierce every Tuesday during Big D Energy and Thursdays during Ermanni and Edwards, where he offers top-notch injury advice. Trust the guy that DMAC trusts. Dr. Jeff Pierce is here to keep you in the game and performing at your best. For more information, visit MichiganSportsAndSpine.com or call 248-426-9944.
I am a fan of guys with big butts.
Big D Energy here Thursday. DMAC, T-Fost, KG, Jesus, Spenmo, Rax, and the big man himself just pulling in to the booth, the old PN Power Neck. Power Neck's here.
Stop playing with that boy.
Back of the show. Well, since we're here, middle of the season and stuff like this, you guys want to talk some hockey?
Yes.
You want to talk some hockey, Jesus? Just because you're here and I'm never here, and it's sort of the middle of when does camp open up? Like September, so we still got like
September
month and a half.
26th.
What's that?
September 26th.
He's ready.
Late. Isn't that late, Terry?
Huh?
We usually start like after Labor Day or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
That might be the viewing date where, like, that's the one I saw you could get tickets to and
Oh yeah,
go.
yeah, that'll be exhibition. So yeah, so
I bet
probably
they start
the week
before that. Yeah,
Traverse
there's
City. Anyways,
weird stuff going on with training camps.
You know, the dust settled a little bit since the draft, free agency. You know what? The direction that Steve Yzerman taking this team. Obviously, the big, signing in Cam Talbot, I believe, and stuff like this. But expectations, realistic expectations, talking about like this is time. And I never understood the fact that there hasn't been steady improvement each year and not. Now, hey, just because I took the clock off last year and absolutely came up a little bit short, even though I can say, well, we had more wins than two of the playoff teams, but I digress. It's a league assessment. This year, I would say, even though it's going to be tough, you have to make that move and that step into the playoffs.
Yes.
Okay, and I think that, and I believe that the moves that were made in the offseason, the development of some of the players that are going to make this team from Grand Rapids, is that this is a playoff team. You will be arguably going from an 898 save percentage to I'm going to say a 910, right? We'll win you 4 games, 4 games.
That's fair.
Right there. Right. And especially even that people don't realize that extra save in overtime gets you that extra point. The shootout, stuff like this. So for me, this expectations, if I was going to put it, is I expect them to be a playoff team, and this is the start of whatever tradition Steve Yzerman says we're getting back, and we're doing it so that we never get back to the spot we're in now.
Yeah, I think the criticism of Steve Yzerman, the Wings, has been a little harsh. They made the playoffs last year if the NHL didn't have screwy rules. They had more wins.
Don't tell Flannel that.
So they should have. If it was any other league, they would have been in the playoffs.
But so forget, like, does that not matter? Like, so I'll say, okay, Flannel, like, to his argument, they didn't make the playoffs. Yes, you're right. But if you're going to look at it so granularly of the improvement that they made, it was last year. Steve Yzerman improved the penalty killing and the power play.
Mm-hmm.
Right. This year, he's going to improve the save percentage. All that together with the progress, you're not throwing out the same team that you did. There are guys that are going to get opportunity that deserve it, that are going to be better.
Well, we're not talking playoffs this year. We're talking what seed will they be?
There you go.
I'm going to bypass. They can make the playoffs if they do this. No, I'm looking at what seed are they going to be. I trust Steve Yzerman. He's done it before. He's built a team. And he said from day one, he's going to be patient. He said, y'all can talk and try to rush things. I'm taking my damn time, because he knows if you do it the right way, take your time, you have the seeds planted, it's going to be longer term success. I don't think he's interested in, okay, let me build a team that's going to make the playoffs and then we disappear.
He's told you that. Listen to what he says. That's not what he's here for. So what about expectations?
Expectation has to be to make the playoffs. And I don't want to say if, but the caveat to me on winning a playoff series, because that's the next step, because they should have made the playoffs this year, and I think we all agree on that. So I think the caveat's to win a series, and are they going to add at the deadline for them to do so? Because to me, this team isn't good enough to beat one of the best teams in the East in the playoffs.
Right. This roster right now, you would say, is a playoff roster, but first round exit to whatever else, which is another level to get to. But again, I got to believe that if they're in a position come trade deadline and one or two guys away, that not only will you have the money available, but you have the capital and you could make sort of a move like that.
It's also looking like that with how the cap's currently constructed, that after you sign Raymond and Sider, he's going to leave just a little bit of room there just in case he wants to make a move or something.
Right.
It seemed, and that's the way to go. He's going to stay flexible. He's going to make sure that he does what's right by this team. And you just have to trust him. It's a cliche to say to trust the Eisner plan, but at the end of the day, he's given you no reason not to. He's improved the team every year. He already won cups in Tampa. He showed you that he could do it. He showed you it took time. And now you, unfortunately, like everyone hates the patient word, but you just got to be patient. You got to just sit back. You got to enjoy the process. You got to enjoy the start of what hopefully is another huge playoff streak that we're building in Detroit.
I'm going to make a prediction. When Yzerman makes that, I don't know if you want to call it the final move, but that move before the trade deadline, you're not going to like it. Flannel Sam is not going to like it. Whatever player they're going to bring in, they're not going to like him.
It's a good move
because it's going to be it's going to be a gritty player, more of a gritty player than one that's just, flicking the puck in the net. Because when you looked at the NHL playoffs last year, it was the teams that won, for the most part, who was a little bit grittier in the corners, who was knocking each other's blocks off. And although they almost blew it, Florida was just that team that we're going to come here, we're going to play defense, and then when we get our opportunity, we capitalize on it. Now, it almost didn't work, but it did. So, and by the time, even Edmonton was more of a...
Terry, I got to ask you this question from
Sure.
Cody Engel. Because my answer is it has nothing to do with. But if the GM wasn't a Red Wing legend, would the conversation be different?
Absolutely.
It would be. I think
it would be different?
It would be, this time would be more harsh. He's getting that leeway a little bit, even though the heat is turned up a little bit.
See,
but I think that I think maybe the word isn't legend. Maybe it should be more respect. Because I think this town respects him so much because of what he's done here, not just here, but what he did in Tampa.
But as a GM, aren't we like?
Yes.
Do people not separate the player and the GM? Maybe that's where I'm. That's where I'm wrong because I separate the GM.
They don't.
From the player. I try to translate from the leader or the player of what it might mean.
Right.
But I go by how he went. How he started with the front office here, then went and got his master's degree at Tampa, which took him 8 years, and he realized how it had to be built. He figured out, I didn't do this right. I changed this. Now here, but realizing there's only one way to do it. So it's irrelevant, and I think, what have you done for me lately? Like the biggest thing is, I guess that if you can't see how this is the only way that he could figure out that it had to be done to do it right. And it's patience. And I guess that's what life, I
think the heat would have been turned up on him by fans quicker if it wasn't Steve Yzerman, it was somebody else. Because, this is hockey town. You got to do it in 4 years.
Yeah, but if it wasn't Steve Yzerman, somebody else would have tried to save it and done something different, and you might have made the playoffs, but then... like it wouldn't have been done this way where it's foundational, like he told you. And if you go back as the GM, look at how he did it in Tampa. He didn't have the, but he had to get the books right there. Wasn't the same because he got lucky with draft picks earlier, Vasilevsky, Kucherov, stuff like this. But it's a lot of the same, just with a few more years. I mean, if you're
true, but fans don't know all that. And here's the other thing: in today's society, you gotta do it quick. I'm impatient.
Okay, well, so as long as you understand it's that okay. Open the oven or go get the barbecue before it's done. I mean, you're risking salmonella.
Right.
You don't trust in that. So
you don't want that rare
to your
chicken
point,
breast.
I guess you're right. Because what have you done for me lately?
Mm-hmm.
And that's how it is. And I'm gonna bring in a example because it says it's built long, it's slow. You need the foundation, and the foundation that you just saw come to blossom was the Florida Panthers. The Florida Panthers in 2013 were the 15th team in the East. They snuck into the playoffs 1 year until 2022 when they finally were ready to make 2021-2022 season, when they were finally ready to make the playoffs, and they didn't even win a series that year. They didn't win a series until 2023. So to put that in perspective, that's 10 years, like exactly what you've been saying for the past ever since I started working here. It's going to take 7 to 10 years where you want this team, because you want this team to be competing for Stanley Cups, not making the playoffs.
Right. And when you look at pro sports, for the most part, teams disappear for a minimum of 5 years. I'm talking about even the good teams before they get it back together and become a title contender. In the NBA, the Lakers disappear for 5 years.
Yeah.
Pistons have disappeared for 5 decades.
You look at hockey right now. Look at Pittsburgh, who's got the Malkin, Crosby, Letang. You know, like trying that recipe on the downslide. Well, they're right around a playoff team or whatever else. But are they going to win a championship again?
No.
Like so,
yeah, but Pittsburgh is not. They're in the position where their fan base expects them to contend for titles. I mean, it was like the Red Wings a few years ago when they were making that run of 25 consecutive playoff runs.
Yeah, but the last 5 years were smoke and mirrors.
But you know what the fan base was saying? So what?
Right, and you know what Steve Yzerman is saying? Yeah, well, screw you, because that's not good enough. Just making the playoffs. So instead, we're gonna make them and win and be legitimate. So and not sacrifice. But I guess that's the difference between, the fandom or whatever. I don't know about you guys. All I want is just tell me what direction you're going and then show me, and then I can see the progress. And then I'm in. So,
but not saying that there's a lot of heat on him, but there are people who question him.
Terry, hang
on, let me say this.
I just say, who are they? Who is questioning?
People on radio and stuff like that.
But who? Tell me the exact person and what is the question of it, because they either don't like what Steve Yzerman has come out and said in the way that he's doing it.
My old broadcast partner is saying it's taking too long. But my question,
okay.
My question is this.
And again, I would say that person.
Do you believe Steve Yzerman is going to lead the Wings to the Stanley Cup Finals and win a Stanley Cup?
Eventually, yeah.
If you leave him in place, I believe he will. So why would you change it?
Yeah.
Just asking a question.
Yeah, 3 years. I mean, he said it along the way. The biggest thing is, if you don't understand, is when Neil breaks down how they had to get the books right. In a salary cap day and age. This isn't the NBA. They have a salary cap, but not even.
Or the old NHL when you didn't have a cap.
But it's not.
It's not. That's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying. So you can't dismiss what the money is. Anyways.
Okay, Neil.
The window opens
I know.
in 2 to 3 years when Costa and Augustine are ready. For anyone who doesn't know anything about the two, if The Athletic, very trusted news source, top 20 goalies under 22 years old. Kosa and Augustine both made the list. So we're in good hands in terms of the goaltending position, and we'll have one of the best tandems in a couple
All right,
years.
question for the room.
Uh-oh.
Show of hands. Who here believes if Steve Yzerman is left in place, the Wings will never win a Stanley Cup?
As it should be.
Bam. There's your answer right there. Leave him alone. Let him cook. And the feast will happen.
You talk about prospects. Prospects take time in order to develop and to build, and you look for guys like Raymond Schneider to be able to take that next step. You even look at a young guy like Jonathan Bergen as well to be able to take another step up, get some more playing time. You also have a nice veteran presence on the team, but you got to trust if you're trying to build a team to last, the way to do it is through the draft and through prospects because, again, those guys are under contract at a relatively cheap price, and as D-Mac mentioned, when you're dealing with a hard cap, that's the way to build a dynasty, a team built to last. But again, that takes time to build, and that takes that 3, 4, or 5 year window.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
So we're getting closer though. Getting closer because you do have some expectations.
Right.
And I like what you said, Terry. What seed are we gonna be? Not just make the playoffs, but can we get to to 6, 7, 8? So somebody tell me about Mark White.
Mark White.
You got Mark White there?
Yeah, I got Mike White. Come on down to Mark White. Are you dreaming of a new home but feeling the financial pinch? Mark White and Associates, your trusted real estate experts, are here to help. Mark White and his team will pay up to $5,000 of your closing costs. That's right, $5,000. Don't play around. Mark White is the guy. Call Mark White and Associates today at 248-290-8242 or visit them today at markwhitesells.com. That's right, 248-290-8242. Call Mark White, make your dreams come true. Don't yourself. We'll be right back after this short break.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
At Planet Fitness, you can get everything you need for just $1 down.
Try out Planet Fitness and dang, they got lots of equipment.
Not me getting a Planet Fitness membership just for the 24-hour perk.
Hey, y'all better get on these free fitness training sessions from Planet Fitness.
Did y'all know that the PF app has workouts you can do at home? Cheapest therapy I can find is Planet Fitness.
Join Planet Fitness today and get everything you need for just $1 down. $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends Thursday, July 18th.
Drive into summer and drive into savings during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest Memorial Day sale ever. We're stocked with new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to move. Like this 2024 Silverado for only $217 a month. Or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $199 a month. Find your freedom in a Feldman at the Memorial Day sale going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today. Stop searching for a vehicle and start finding one. Les Stanford Chevrolet Cadillac makes it easy. We harness the power of multiple dealerships and own the biggest selection of GM brands in the area to get you the car you need. With the Les Stanford Group, you'll have access to 4 different dealerships, providing you with more makes, more models, and more choices. We're connected to more than 1,000 vehicles. And with so many high-quality CPO vehicles available, you'll find new car quality at pre-owned prices. You can start and end your search at lesstanford.com today.
Big D Energy. Oh, sorry, Kate. Oh, sorry.
KDK Law. We all know somebody's going through divorce, child custody, visitation, or any family law issues. Don't be that person. Visit KDK Law. Kevin and Catherine at KDK Law in Birmingham will have your back. 10+ years of experience and 24/7 availability. That's right, I said 24/7. Scan that QR code right above my head on the screen or call 248-971-0476. Say Woodward Sports sent you and KDK will pay your filing fee. KDK Law, they've got your back. KG, what's the line, man?
Man, don't let that woman take your season tickets, man. You've been waiting for the Lions to be successful for 30 years, man. Don't let her do it.
Don't let her do it to you.
Hell yeah, KDK Law. Welcome back, Big D Energy. Thirsty Thursday. You heard from KG. You heard from Power. Big D. Yeah, there it is. Jesus, T. Boston. D-Mac, Terry, you're in tomorrow. You get the you and Flannel tomorrow.
Is tomorrow Freaky Friday or
Freaky Flannel Friday?
Are we supposed to? Are we supposed to come in in just our underwear tomorrow? Because you guys get crazy on Friday.
What? Anybody got big plans this weekend? Spenny, what? Where's the wedding or the bachelor party or the?
Tubin.
Tubin, where?
Tubin.
Camp Crystal. Not Camp Crystal Lake.
Camp Crystal Lake.
Yeah, I was about to say.
The Voorhees. Staying in the Voorhees cabin.
There is a Camp Crystal Lake in Michigan, by the way.
Camp Crystal Creek.
Crystal Creek.
Yeah, Crystal Creek Campground.
All right. And I'm Juice. You heading up for the pontoon, or are you?
I am. There's a music festival in Pontiac this weekend.
Oh, yeah,
so
Which one?
Bass on the Block.
Is that Rob Bass or who's playing?
Just
Ace of Bass.
Now you gonna be out there dancing?
Yeah.
All those.
You got any rhythm?
Yeah, I got rhythm.
I made them dance in the booth once, so.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got the
Power?
KG stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Just crushing protein bars or what?
Just beating up people.
No, man.
You got any
just
camps?
My normal workouts, no camps, but we're getting ready for next year. So, yeah, got to come up with some fundraising ideas and got to meet with some of our sponsors. So it'll be good.
Lot of people wondering how's the back. How was the since you got the epidural or the injection or whatever it is?
Yeah, it's good. I won't lie. I fainted after the shot, trying to put the clothes back on, you know. So, you know, I thought I was going to slide down a wall, and I ended up fainting. Didn't slide down the wall, if you were wondering. Just thud on the ground.
Jesus.
Yep. Had about 6 people around me, and
none of them caught you.
None of them caught me, but let's
that
just
neck
say
heavy, man.
Let's say a lot of women saw my thing that day. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hopefully you didn't disappoint.
What about you, Uncle T? What do you got going on?
I think we're gonna have a viewing party at the house on Saturday.
Okay.
Proud to announce my daughter Celine has been working on a TV series.
Oh, nice. That's what's up.
It just came out last night on Hulu.
Wow.
What's it called?
Yeah.
Unprisoned.
Unprisoned.
With Kerry Washington.
Oh, yeah, I did see the trailer for
right.
that.
So she's a part of that. She won 2 writing awards last month or something, and then, but she's like a gopher or something. I don't know. She's production assistant, disco ball dance. I don't know what it is, but her name is on the thing at the end.
On the credits, yeah.
Celine Foster.
Oh, she big time, man.
Yeah, so she's big time, and
right.
so that's her first time she's going to be on the marquee. Or that's not the marquee, but the credits.
Yeah. Oh yeah, but she digging it. She's digging it. She likes it. She always been.
It's
that's a big deal, man.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get Kerry Washington. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Those hour days, like they don't stop. They just run. You got to run to the budget and stuff like this. So
yeah, man.
They never stop running. Yeah. Anybody who's over in Northville and you're not watching the heavyweights, I'll be doing a book signing at the Dancing Eye Gallery later on.
That's
5
what's
o'clock
up.
today.
Ooh.
I get to go play the Warren. I get to go to. This is. I wish Theo was here. University of Notre Dame.
Oh, you going to Notre
alumni
Dame?
game on Saturday afternoon, but playing the Warren Golf Club. So playing the University Golf Course during the day.
Nice.
So I'll definitely report back.
That's what's up.
No, absolutely. Here, let's take the final break right now. Come back with any questions for anybody in the chat or in the studio as we wrap up this Thursday here. Let me tell you about Randy Wise. How would you like to play the University of Michigan Golf Course with Braylon Edwards? It's Randy Wise Celebrity Golf Tour. Register today and you can round off our foursome. at woodwardsports.com or scan the code on the screen. When it comes to your next car or truck, make the wise decision. Randy Wise Automotive.
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
Drive into summer and drive into savings during Feldman Chevrolet's biggest Memorial Day sale ever. We're stocked with new Chevy cars, trucks, and SUVs, all priced to move. Like this 2024 Silverado for only $217 a month, or this 2024 Equinox for as low as $199 a month. Find your freedom in a Feldman at the Memorial Day sale going on now at Feldman Chevrolet, Michigan's #1 Chevy dealer.
Braylon Edwards here, Premier Pet Supply. Man, just looking around, who's got it better than pets? Come on, a baby stroller for Coda? A chef for Lola, really? You don't have to tell me who the real boss here is. Who's got it better than pets? Nobody, especially here at Premier Pet Supply. For over 30 years and more than 13 locations, Premier Pet Supply has everything that your pet can dream of, and guess what? It's all under one roof. Premier Pet Supply, family owned, operated, and proud to call Metro Detroit home. Check out premierpetsupply.com or scan the QR code today. Who's got it better than pets?
Nobody!
A ton of fun, a ton of sports, and a ton of man meat. Welcome to the Woodward Heavyweights, live daily 5 to 7 p.m. on Woodward Sports.
What?
We don't like to brag that we are the toughest sports network in Detroit, but we do have a guy named Darren McCarty on our side. Woodward Sports.
That's right, it's summertime. Sign up your kids for the Boys and Girls Club, the best youth football league in Metro Detroit. It's the Boys and Girls Club of Southeastern Michigan's 3C Sports League. Youth ages available from 5 to 14. 6 exciting teams to choose from Detroit, Belleville, Highland Park, and East Point. All coaches are trained and certified and undergo background checks. Register today for football or cheer at bgcsm.org. That's right, bgcsm.org. Equipment, meals, and transportation included. All for a chance to play at the championship field at Ford Field, the home of Detroit Lions. Just $175 per child. Put the youth back in Detroit sports with BGCSM 3C Sports.
Big the energy, winding it up here. Jesus, how's the NCAA
Oh, it's so
game
fire.
Dynasty? You won a championship yet? You got?
No, I'm only 4 games in, but I play on the hardest difficulty, so.
Oh, there it is. Spenny, you got it? You play yet? No. Everybody in the chat. David Spotter, you see that in the chat thread that I ran into? This is true. Ran into him in Amsterdam at the Bulldog back in the 90s. I do remember, Dave. Good times. It's a coffee shop over in Amsterdam.
Okay.
Smoke a little weed, drink a little coffee, hot chocolate.
Shout out.
It's all good.
Like the real Amsterdam?
Like the
Like
Amsterdam,
across the
Netherlands?
ocean?
With the
That
red light
one?
district
Yeah.
and all that
Never
stuff?
been.
Oh, yeah. Dude.
I'm surprised you haven't been. Red
I am
light
too.
district sounds
I've
right up
been
your alley.
twice, but it's time
it
for
is.
a trip back. So anybody who's going over there, enjoy yourself, whatever you're doing. You get flannel and T-Foss tomorrow, KG, Spanny, Jesus. So, hey, everybody see you out and about this weekend. Don't forget Easter Market has a book fair. You said what other fairs was out? Ann Arbor's this
Ann
weekend?
Arbor Art Fair.
And then
this
next
weekend.
weekend's...
This weekend. And then next weekend is it's called the Orchard Lake Art Fair, but it's in West Bloomfield.
Okay. Well, get your fares in, get whatever it is. Spenny, be safe, wear your life jacket. Thanks for tuning in. Big D Energy. That's it. Deuces.
Big D. Yeah.